I now have a walking pad for my standing desk, and I am going to make it my entire personality for the next 3 days. Unfortunately, trying to walk and talk at the same time is not necessarily a skill I don't possess, but it can get very distracting when I'm constantly swaying side to side while making a video. So my last few videos have been very angry. The one committing the crime! You ignorant, stupid piece of shit. You shouldn't be teaching them that making jokes about a gas chamber is fucking funny. Fuck you, JD Vance, fuck you. So instead, today, I thought I'd take a little bit of time out of my day to tell you guys about a very, very good movie that I saw a couple of weeks ago. Now, I was gonna make a video recommending this movie a couple of weeks ago when I saw it, but other stuff got in the way, and then when I finally did decide that I was going to start making YouTube videos regularly again, I ended up going with commentary content, 3 commentary content videos in a row, so it just kind of got away from me, and like I said, things have been kind of fucked for, you know, a little bit, and I've been very angry over the past few videos, and so I just wanted to kind of calm down and talk about something I like. It's something that I feel like a lot of YouTubers don't do that often, because negativity breeds views, it breeds revenue. More people want to click on your video if they see you're really angry about something. So a lot of YouTubers, they don't lean into the positive, they don't try to tell you about things they like, they only tell you about things that are bothering them, and I don't want to be that kind of YouTuber. I want to intersplash all of the hatred and anger and stuff with occasional fun things. So let's talk about the movie Him. Him is a movie that is produced by horror mastermind Jordan Peele and is written and directed by a guy by the name of Justin... Was it Justin Tanning? Justin Tipping. A guy by the name of Justin Tipping wrote and directed this movie. And when I saw produced by Jordan Peele, my immediate first thought was, this is going to be amazing. I mean, Jordan Peele has really never had a bad movie. He's a master of cinematography and direction and just overall atmosphere. He does it in such a way that I think is genuinely unmatched since like Kubrick's time period. Like, I don't think there's been a better director, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I feel like I'm turning into a film bro because I have turned my nose up at some regular films in favor of like the more interesting and artistic films this year, but honestly there hasn't really been any films that I've seen that I think are bad. I did have that one, what was that fucking shit called? This movie was freaking weird. It was called Caught Stealing. That movie was not good. It wasn't good. It just wasn't good. I didn't know who the movie was supposed to be for. It wasn't actiony enough for action fans. The story wasn't compelling enough for story fans. The acting was, honestly, the acting was pretty good. I think the acting was probably the strongest part of the film, but the cinematography was basic. The direction was basic. The plot line was basic. There was nothing that, like, there was a twist at the end that wasn't really a twist. Like, we all kind of knew what was happening before then, but the twist did have good visual storytelling, I guess. They didn't like spell it out for us or anything. In any case, I went off on a side tangent there. Him is a film that I think is quite possibly one of the greatest films of 2025. Like, if I see enough movies by the end of this year, which might not happen, we only have a few months left in the year, but I try to go see a movie like once or twice a month, which has not been the case lately, but I'm gonna start trying to do that just because I do like going to the movies. It is a fun experience, and it's nice to get out of the house once in a while and watch a big screen instead of a small one. So, I mean, I have a big screen back there, but it's not a theater screen. Those things are as big as my house. So Him follows the story of a college kid who wants to play in the NFL. They don't name drop the NFL, they just call it the league or the big leagues because, I mean, I don't think the NFL really approved of this movie. I'm gonna be completely honest with you, because the entire movie is about the unnecessary stress that gets put on young men when it comes to playing football. Now, I've never been a very big football fan. In fact, I've never been a football fan at all. I genuinely don't like the sport. I don't hate it so much that I'm like, football, right? But I don't like it. I don't go out of my way to watch it. If someone else is watching it, I will like go find something else to do because I find the sport to be genuinely boring, which some people might find wild because I like watching bowling and darts. We all have our own vices. The point is that even though I don't like football, one thing that I do know about is the immense amount of pressure to play football as a young man. And I say that as somebody who has very broad shoulders. Now, you can't really tell because I wear black, but I do have a broader build. And so when I was younger, I was actually begged by my coaches, by the coaches, I should say, of our school football teams to play football. Because I have such a broad build, they wanted me to play, what's that fucking position? Running back or something? I don't know. The guy who guards the quarterback or some shit. I don't know. Because I have such a broad build, they really wanted me to play football. And I just didn't want to do it. And when I got a little bit older, I started looking into it. And for a lot of young men, especially young men who are poor or grew up without a lot of money, the pressure to play football or play some sort of sport is very heavily ingrained in them because that's the way out. Right? That's the way out of poverty. They can buy their mom a house, their dad a car, they can take care of their brothers, their sisters, they can finally claw their way out of the capitalistic hellhole that they were born into. And so a lot of people really want to do it. But what comes with that is very often the expectation for these kids to basically kill themselves. I wish I had the energy to go out and find who said it, but there was a football player at one point who said that he would never let his sons play for the league. He wouldn't do it because the dangers it puts on your body is so massive, especially like head trauma is so massive that he would never want his kids to be put through that. And it really is. There is a gigantic problem in football in general of people getting massive head injuries from this. Adam Ruins Everything did a fantastic episode on this and basically talking about how this is something that needs to change about modern day American football is all the head injuries. And this is often pushed even further with these kids having to eat the most unrealistic diets you've ever heard of and over-exercise themselves. And there's even this great metaphor about doping and using drugs to overcome your body's natural exhaustions. And there's also this very, very good underlying metaphor about how people are often tossed basically on their asses when they reach a certain age, right? When you're one of the greats, when you're one of the best players in a lot of these sports, you hit 35, 36, 37 years old and they're like, God, he can't play anymore, man. He's not really doing that well anymore. He's got to hang it up. He's got to make room for the next great player. And a lot of this is just basically telling people that your life is over in your mid-30s. And something that I've realized over the past couple of years as I'm 32 is that your 30s are your prime. Everybody tells you that your 20s are your prime, but you're still figuring shit out in your 20s. It's okay to experiment in your 20s, you know, work some jobs, find out what you like, change hobbies, learn new things. It's not really until your 30s that you need to start maybe figuring out what you want to lock down as a career or what you want to do as a, something like that. Your 30s, you're still young. I feel old because society is fucked, but I've got another bare minimum 40 years left on this planet. And my family tends to live till they're 90, so I got 60 years left on this planet, okay? I'm not even close to halfway done with my life. And yet people all over the place, society, will tell me that because I'm 32, I'm slowly encroaching on the years where I don't get to do anything anymore, where my life has to be devoid of fun, and I'm past the time period where I'm able to lose the weight that I want to lose, and I'm able to get out and meet someone to spend the rest of my life with. I tried to do all this shit in my early 20s, and it fucked me, right? Trying to make sure that I was locked down and tied down and had someone to spend the rest of my life with ended up screwing me out of a genuinely fun life. And it's taken me years to pick up the pieces from that relationship because of it. And so I think that a lot of times this is accelerated in sports, right? You're in your prime and in your best bet when you're 20, 21, 22. And then as you approach your 30s, they start talking about if you're going to retire, you can't do this anymore. And this movie just does a really good job of showcasing that without beating you over the head with it. And that's the great thing about this film is that its storytelling, its visual storytelling is where all the metaphors are. Some of the dialogue has some of the lessons they're trying to teach through the story, but it's mostly in the visual storytelling. And in my opinion, this film is just brilliant because it made me, someone who's not a fan of football, really enjoy a football movie. And that's rare. That's rare. I have not liked that many football movies. Okay, I really haven't. Yes, even The Longest Yard, or that one movie where Sandra Bullock plays a fucking white savior and adopts a black teenager, and then it turned out that that black teenager actually hated that family because they like fucked him out of a bunch of money and everything. I don't like them. I don't like them. This movie I liked. Now, granted, not exactly a lot of football being played in this movie. It's mostly about the life of the football player behind the scenes. But the best thing about it is that it's all told through a horror lens. The horror of the movie, the shell in which the story is told is where the metaphor exists. Because it's a horror movie, they're able to use more gruesome visuals, more gruesome metaphors in order to tell the reality of what a lot of young football stars go through mentally. And that's the big part. They take the mental strain of being a young sports player and they put it into visual storytelling. This movie is just a masterclass in absolute storytelling. It's a masterclass in storytelling, just like every fucking Jordan Peele movie that's ever come out. Jordan Peele is incapable of making a bad movie. I have never, I'm telling, even though he was just the producer, like, you can feel his influence. I'm hoping that Justin Tipping ends up making more films because of this movie. And I'm hoping that he continues to take hints and tips from Jordan Peele, because we need more Jordan Peeles in filmmaking. But yeah, this movie is just amazing. If you haven't seen it yet and it's still in a theater near you, go see it. When it comes out on like Blu-ray or streaming services, watch it. It's genuinely one of the best films I've ever seen. Highly recommend.